Latinx Amplify is a nonpartisan collaborative movement whose mission is to build Latinx economic and political power by increasing Latino civic engagement and representation in leadership positions. Launched in 2017 by the Latina Circle, a Boston-based nonprofit social venture advancing Latina leaders into positions of power and influence, Amplify recently held a meet and greet opportunity to introduce the Latino candidates for Boston City Council. To tell us more about the movement and the recent event, we've invited two of its members. Let's now greet attorney Ivan Espinoza-Madrigal and the executive director for Lawyers for Civil Rights, and also Alexandra Oliver-Davila. She is vice chairperson for the Boston School Committee, and she's also executive director of Sociedad Latina, a very well-known and respected youth development organization here in the city. Welcome to Urban Update. Thanks for coming in. Ivan, let me start with you. Before we get into all the need for the diverse representation in positions of power, take us through a few of the stats that people need to know about the current size of the Latino population here in Boston.
Thank you, Byron, for having me. And absolutely, the demographics in Boston are changing. The city has evolved, and right now we're talking about a city that is 20% Latino. 1 out of every 5 Bostonians identifies as Latino right now, and that is a number that continues to grow. And this tremendous diversity is also reflected in our public schools, where, as the vice chair can talk to us in a bit about, approximately 44% of the Boston Public School students also identify as Latino. So we're talking about a really dynamic and growing Latino community in Boston.
Now, Alexandra, as a member of the city school committee, expand on a little bit the student profile and what does that mean for the future of Boston?
Thank you for having me. Yes, as Yvonne said, the student body is 44% Latino, identifies as Latino. I think that there are many opportunities for our city, for the country, where we need to reflect the student body. So one of the things that we're working on the school committee is really pushing for making sure that we have more Latino teachers and administrators. That's also an opportunity, I think, to work with some of the young people who are Latino, who are interested in teaching, and really helping them to explore that by bringing colleges to the table to provide scholarships, to be able to come back and work in the Boston Public Schools, and kind of create a package that also includes housing for young people to be able to stay in Boston. So I think there's multiple opportunities, but I think we really need to keep our eye on the ball, not just in the school district, but really across every sector. We have this really large Latino population of students graduating, and we really want them to stay here in Boston. So we really need to open the doors, not just in the education realm, but again, at every sector.
In a broader sense, where do you think the Latino community needs representation the most, and what areas do you think?
Everywhere.
Yeah,
everywhere.
Sector.
If you look at higher education, if you look at healthcare, if you look in the corporate sector, if you look in city government, Yvonne and I are part of the Greater Boston Latino Network, which is 10 community based organizations that are Latino-led, and we actually have commissioned 2 reports in the last 4 years. We were on this show talking about it 4 years ago, the lack of representation in city government. But we can look at every sector, we can look at the various boards, and we know that policy is better when we have people from our community at the table.
Now, Ivan, you had a recent event, the meet and greet of the Latinx candidates. We should talk about what that word is. It's a relatively new word, but talk to me about the event. Why was it held, and who are the candidates?
Absolutely. It's directly connected to what we're talking about. We need to increase Latino representation and civic engagement across the city. And this event, which was held at Loch Lord, provided an excellent opportunity for 3 candidates that are running for the city council to be able to speak about some of their priorities and their vision for Boston. The event gathered approximately 150 Latino leaders from across a variety of industries, the legal community, the healthcare sector, and all of these folks got together at Loch Lord to talk about the need for Latino representation. In a city where 20% is Latino, we have no Latino in the city council at this time. You know, that's something that we need to improve upon, and something that together this movement will continue to work on.
And just a brief word on, I guess, the Latina Circle. Just really tell us a little bit about the Latina Circle and what that's all about.
We worked side by side with the Latina Circle and Amplify, the Greater Boston Latino Network, and other just general citizens on this event to bring over 150 people. The Latina Circle, we worked together with them around amplifying voice, around getting representation, Latino representation in every sector.
Okay, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
No, I mean, I would say that the 150, it was great because, again, we had a small group organizing from different organizations and walks of life, and people are very excited to be part of this movement.
This is just a start.
Yeah.
Okay. Finally, just about the term Latinx. It's kind of a relatively new cultural term that you're using. What, for those who may not be familiar, don't want to confuse anyone, what does Latinx come from?
And Latinx is a newer term used primarily by millennials who identify as Latino or Latina. And it can be used in lieu of Latino or Hispanic.
Okay. A unisex term.
Absolutely.
Okay, all right.
Absolutely.
Okay, and we'll leave it right there. Ivan Espinoza-Madrigal, Alexandra Oliver-Davila, thank you both for coming in, and good luck with your events.
Thank you so much.
Okay, in just a few moments, an international business networking organization opening a new chapter in Roxbury. All the details right here on Urban Update.